Hello and welcome to episode number 58 of the Lewiston Tribune Podcast. My name is Trevan Pixley, and I have not introduced one of these in a long time, but you know when I'm on the show, it's something pretty fun, and I'm always joined with the man himself, Matt Baney. How you doing, brother?
Hey, doing good, Trev. Thanks for joining me for this one.
Well, I had to take over the hosting duties for this one, and it is going to be a super fun, and if you can't tell, spooky event, Matt Baney.
It's a little scary here in the Junior Stockwell studio.
Well, the ambiance that we have created here adds to the fact that we're in a dark basement. I think by the end of the podcast, this will probably make the list of the top 10 most haunted things in the area, which is what we are going to be talking about today. And Matt, you compiled this list, correct? Or how'd this come to be?
That's right. Yeah, we're going to go through our top 10 haunted locations in our coverage area. And this list was an amalgamation of, we did a Facebook sound-off question among our Facebook fans and said, what's the most haunted place in the area? And they made some suggestions there. And then over the years, we've covered these places. And in particular, we had a late editor named Susie Engle. And every Halloween time for about 8 years or so, she would go on some sort of ghost busting thing.
Ooh.
Yeah, she would go to a site that was reportedly haunted. She would spend an evening there, and she would then write about what she experienced on that. And so a lot of the observations in here are from Susie's old stories.
Gotcha. Before we dive into this top 10, what is your experience with ghosts?
Zero.
Zero ghost encounters?
No ghosts at all. I'm kind of fascinated by the topic, but I can't say, I've been spooked out once in a while, but it wasn't the result of a ghost.
No sibling even tried to play pranks that there was a ghost growing up?
Well, one of these on the list about the Asotin Cemetery, spoiler alert, is like one of my earliest memories. I remember someone at a sleepover when I was about 4 or 5 mentioning the spooky Asotin Cemetery, and I just remember being frightened of that. But no, I none for me. How about you? Any ghost encounters?
Never any ghost encounters. We used to always hang out in the basement at my parents' house, and when I would be down there alone, Trey would stomp upstairs and run downstairs and pretend to be a ghost. But other than that, no real ghost encounters. Loved watching the ghost adventure shows on like sci-fi and things, but...
And some of these sites we'll talk about have even been visited by some of the ghost encounter shows.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's exciting. Let's kick things off. A top 10 list. We love a top 10 list. We'll start things off with the downtown Lewiston tunnels. Matt, why don't you tell me a little bit about those guys?
Well, okay, the reason why this is number 10 is there's not really any specific lore associated with the tunnels. They're kind of cool, and I think if you've lived in this town long enough, you're probably aware of them. Many of the businesses on Main Street and on D Street in Lewiston, if you go into their basements, the basement kind of goes into the street. Mm-hmm. And those were used for various things in the old days. Sometimes it was a coal chute. They used it for storage, and they're kind of spooky.
Yeah.
You go in there, and sometimes some of the really old ones, I don't know how much of this is left, but there was kind of this purple glass in the sidewalks, and you could kind of see people walking overhead.
Ooh.
And one in particular, the Liberty Theater has one of these, and I remember going in there once, and you could actually, I think there was like a secret door in one of the restrooms, and you could go through it and into the underground tunnels. There's been, our archives show that there's sometimes been talk of ghosts, but there's really no specific lore that I'm aware of. If anybody knows some, we'd love to hear about it, but nothing specific.
Well, when you hear hidden door in underground tunnels, I think that's just bound to be where ghosts hang out. So this is no surprise. I think this is the least shocking one on the list, lore or not, that it's haunted.
Oh, yes. Yeah, secret doors. Yeah, you got it.
Now, tell me about the Kettenbach building. Did that have any secret doors in it?
Not that I'm aware of, but so that is another old building. It was built in 1907. It's on the very west end of Main Street. It's pretty much across the street from the Lewis Clark Hotel. And it was a house of ill repute at one time. And also, there was at least one death there. The Lewiston Teller died there. That was the Tribune's competition.
Oh.
We've buried the Lewiston Teller.
Imagine if this was the Lewiston Teller podcast. We'd live in a whole alternate timeline.
Doesn't ring that. The Alfred boys took care of the Lewiston Teller in the old days.
The Lewiston Teller podcast doesn't even have the same ring to it.
Not
so
at all.
shout out to the Alfred boys.
Yes. So not only did it have, yes, the Lewiston Teller, but also prostitutes plied their trade there. And the story goes that there was a 22-year-old pregnant prostitute who was murdered in the building. And it's one that Gary Bush, who does ghost tours, he'll take his ghost tours through it. I've been on Gary's ghost tour, and he says that a lot of people who go on the tour have sensed some sort of presence in the Kettenbach building. I don't remember sensing anything when I was there, but yes, that's the lore, that it was. And actually, a lot of these places are in downtown Lewiston, and many of them are associated with prostitution, which was legal in Lewiston until 1946. Mm-hmm. So anyway, they have that thread going through them.
A very rich history this town has.
There is.
When you went on these ghost tours, what was the vibe of that? You know, what is a ghost tour like?
So Gary Bush does a nice job with it. Gary's a retired educator, and he takes you through some of the older buildings in downtown Lewiston. And it's neat to see the architecture, and Gary does a nice job of telling the stories of why it's haunted. I'd like to say that, oh, yes, a ghost jumped out and grabbed me, but no, I didn't sense that.
Yeah.
I was with my extended family on the tour we went on, and they're kind of knuckleheads, so they were none of them were behaving.
More so of a history lesson, I would imagine, these ghost tours.
It was, yeah. It wasn't. I just didn't sense anything, but still neat to see. It's neat, you know. There's so many old buildings in downtown Lewiston, and you drive by them all the time. And some of them, even if you've lived here a long time, you've never gone into, because some of them are not really in use.
Yeah.
And so it was pretty cool to get to go into some of them.
At number 8 is another building in downtown Lewiston, the Liberty Theater.
That's right.
This one jam-packed with lore, finally?
Well, this one, I think, you know, a lot of people now. Most longtime residents of the area, they've been to the Liberty Theater. They probably saw Titanic there or something, or Star Wars. When it was, and of course its history goes way back to the 20s, and there would be vaudeville acts there. And in the basement of the Liberty Theater, a lot of performers would sign their names on the walls down in the basement, and that's a really cool artifact if you've ever seen that. Now, in terms of anything really specific, no, but over the years, lots of people have said, oh, I've heard steps. I heard doors closing. When Susie Engle and a couple of other reporters went on their ghost-busting tour of the place, the story said that they could hear an old man breathing.
Ooh.
And, you know, think of that late at night and no one else around, and you can hear an old guy like me breathing.
I just picture sharing a hotel room with my father. That's kind of what I picture.
Scary.
Yeah, very spooky. When Susie would go on these ghost tours, how would she find what to look at? Did people like send in suggestions, but she just kind of, you know, she obviously probably just knew her way around town. How did she kind of pick a designation?
Yeah, and I think a lot of it was just the rumor you hear, like someone will say, oh, yeah, that's haunted, and she'd kind of have that on her mental list. And ones that she wanted to see. And it was a popular thing when she was doing it. I remember people kind of looked forward to it each year to see what stories she would write about.
Mm-hmm.
And I always enjoyed it too. I thought it was fun.
Anything else you want to add on the Liberty Theater?
Right now, there is an effort to restore the Liberty. To I think probably the template for the folks working on that is the Kenworthy Theater in Moscow. And we had a story a few months ago or weeks ago about some of the plans, and they look really cool. There's plans for kind of a speakeasy bar on the balcony of the place. And, it'd be the sort of place that would show kind of, movies one night, have a concert the next night, have a play the night after that.
That's cool.
Yeah, and that's exciting. Now, it would maybe help if they could get the ghost lore going. I think that would. I could see how people would want to go to the haunted theater to see a movie.
Yeah, exactly. You want to hear the old man breathing during a boring movie. You know?
That's right.
Yeah. All right, we're moving out of downtown Lewiston to go way in the boonies to talk about Nevas. What do you know about Nevas, Baney?
Well, yes, we're now out in the orchards. Shout out orchards.
Yeah, I'm an orchards kid.
That's right. I'm an old orchards boy too.
Hey, I'm going back to the orchard. Shout out to the
That's
orchards.
Right. And this is the East Orchards,
Ooh.
which is the most orchards the orchards gets.
The most orchards.
That's right. Yeah. And Nevas was a kind of a rest home for many years. It had several different kind of incarnations, and it got creepier and creepier as the years went on because sometimes it was sort of just abandoned. And I think probably what really solidified it as a scary place was they had a couple of well-remembered haunted houses there in 2012 and 2013. And, those were, I still hear people talk about how cool those were.
Yeah.
There was also some controversy with the haunted houses. I should have looked this up, some sort of embezzlement or something like that.
Well, now that you mention it, because I hadn't rang a bell to me really, but I remember in 2012, 2013, kind of around my middle school years, a haunted house in the orchard. So in going to that, and it was a pretty spooky occasion. It wasn't just like your regular haunted house. So I do kind of remember this a little vaguely.
Okay, so you went to Neva's.
Yeah. I went with me and kind of like how you were talking about with your extended family, but, in the haunted house, so it was a little bit more fun. I enjoyed it. I didn't get any superstition feeling, but there were some real aggressive workers there. Took their job real seriously.
I heard that too, that these aren't just like a guy that jump out and go, ooga booga. They would really get after you, right?
Yeah, these are people that are really committed to working out like Spirit of Halloween, kind of, like they really love Halloween. Yeah.
That's what you need in a haunted house.
Yeah, no, for real. It was, it's a memorable haunted house experience.
What's interesting about Neva's is that it then sold to a family, and we had a really interesting story. And I just the other day, I had someone ask me about it. In 2019, we had a story about a family that bought the property and was restoring it for just a residence. They were going to live there. And their plans were pretty cool. And it was interesting in the story. Former reporter Joel Mills wrote the story. And they had a little daughter, and he asked them, well, what about the ghosts that are supposed to live here? And even the little girl said, ghosts, that's hooey.
I ain't scared of no ghosts.
That's right. That's what she said. We haven't had a follow-up on that story. I was thinking we should have. That would be an interesting follow-up to see if what's become of it. Did they finish the renovation? Do they still live there? Maybe that's one we'll pursue. But, that's Neva's. And I know for Orchard's kids, maybe a little older than you, maybe even a little older than me, it was sort of remembered as a scary place.
All right. Now, number 6, I think this one's, I think a lot of locals are kind of aware of this, or, this one's kind of a comic one. This one's kind of a common one. The old Civic Theater. Matt, tell me a little bit about this one.
That's right. And it's now known as the Bollinger Performing Arts Center. And now with that, of course, we all know that there were 3 murders that took place at that theater in 1982. And those have not been solved. It's well known who the suspect is. It is the Tribune's policy. We don't name this person because charges have never been brought against him. But his name is out there, and he is alive. But that case has not been solved. People are still working on it. Jackie Nichols over in Asotin County.
We had her
is
on
still
the
working
podcast.
That's right. Yeah. Look back at that episode.
Yeah.
So there's some lore right there. Unsolved murders that took place there. But even before that, the building got its start as a church. It was built, I think, in the 19-teens. And even before it became the Civic Theater, it was sort of, there was rumors of ghosts. In fact, the oldest talk of ghosts was there was an old caretaker who would come to clean up the church, and this in the 20s and 30s. And after he died, it was said that his ghost was seen in the building. And then for the decades that it was a theater, people who performed there, who spent time there, said that they would kind of feel a presence there too. It has plenty of real history about it, and also maybe just some spooky lore about it too. And of course, it's still standing. The city took ownership of it. They ended up selling it about a year ago. And I just noticed recently someone is doing some work on it. So something is happening there. We hope to have an update on that eventually, but it does look like it'll have some sort of new life at some point.
Yeah. There hasn't been any new haunted places lately. All these ghost reports are all very, very much old. When do you think maybe by the time like my kid becomes my age, there's going to be some new haunted buildings? Like, what do you think's the most recent new haunted building?
That's a good question. Because really, new things aren't haunted, old things are haunted.
Yeah.
But yeah, when does something old get old enough to become haunted?
Exactly.
It always seemed to me like the old Lewiston High had some
that's potential. Yeah.
I remember years ago, me and a friend of mine, when we were students there, we were there putting out the school newspaper late at night, and the hallways were dark, and we stood looking way down that football-length corridor in the old high school and no lights on, and we were both peering into the darkness, and we said, what if a crazy man just came running at us right now? And both of us, 17 years old, ran away scared.
You just scared yourself.
Yeah, we did. We frightened ourselves. Yeah.
That was the day you're like, this place has real good potential to be haunted.
That's right. Yeah. I knew that.
Yeah.
And, it always, on that note, I kind of wish this place was haunted.
That was, okay, I had that in my head, but I forgot to bring it up, is that this, like the old high school, is a pretty prime place to be haunted, and if any place would show a ghost, it'd be in this room that is deep in the bowels of the place with spooky, pumpkins here.
That's right. And I've been here, you've been here many late nights. I've been here by myself very late at night, and I've never, ever had anything. And I hate to say that. I wish I could say that, there was something. It hasn't happened.
Has anybody died in this building?
I died.
Because you need that for a haunt, I think.
You do.
That's a requirement. I think that's number one on the steps to a haunt.
One of these days, someone will probably fall off the roof after the World Series. But no, I don't think anybody's died yet.
No, all right. Well, I think the second that somebody does, that there's a haunt.
Yeah, I think
a haunt
so.
is coming.
Yes.
And At number 5, this is a place you already mentioned earlier in the video, the Asotin Cemetery. One of the now 2 things you mentioned that scared you as a youngster in this video.
Yeah, and despite me, as I mentioned, being scared of it when I was a little tiny guy, I hadn't actually really seen it until a few months ago.
Oh, really?
Or really taken note of it. It's above Asotin, so you have to drive out of Asotin as though you're going to Enterprise, Oregon, and it kind of overlooks the town. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's a classic old-timey cemetery. And the story goes that a man who had kidnapped and murdered a young girl in 1903 was lynched, and they buried him outside of the cemetery, and perhaps his ghost still haunts the cemetery. And I guess it has several, like any good old cemetery, it has a lot of interesting, intricate old grave markers. And one of the things you hear is that there are, at night when you're there are kind of eyes that follow you.
That's spooky.
That is spooky, especially when you're about 4 or 5 when I first heard that.
Yeah.
And there's one grave marker in particular that maybe this is where it comes from. It's a tall grave marker, and it has kind of a round ball at the top of it. Mm. And I think that light reflecting off that might be the eye that people are talking about. That one, Susie Engle didn't go to it, but we had an assistant city editor who spent an evening at the Asotin Cemetery, and he in his story he said he got a little creeped out by it, but didn't see anything. He did say that a rabbit got snapped up by some sort of predator while he was there.
That's something that you're just not meant to see, right? And I don't think you're meant to see anything at night at a cemetery.
Yeah, well, it's not really where you want to spend your evenings, I don't think.
Well, and that's kind of the crazy thing is like somebody had to just be out there at night to figure out that this cemetery was haunted. Like,
right.
Like why are you spending your nights outside at a cemetery to begin with?
And this really is this one goes way back. This might be the oldest haunted place that we're going to talk about. Mm. Our esteemed president, Butch Alford.
Yeah.
He talked about when he was young, people would drive out there at night and kind of get freaked out by it. And it was because these grave markers, most of them have been there more than a century. Mm-hmm. And so people, yes, have been going out there and getting scared for many years now.
All right. After that, we're going to move to the Nezperce Hotel. Baney, what can you tell me about that place?
Okay. So, yeah, this is on the Camas Prairie. And if you look at it now, this is a functioning hotel. It has a restaurant in it, and really, you look at the photos, it doesn't look haunted at all. It's a nice-looking building, kind of not really ornamented at all. It's a nice white building, and it was built in 1912, and this is a place that Susie Engle went to for her ghost hunting. And the rumor is that there are 2 people who died there and are now haunting it. There was a man who died there, and what else?
What did he do?
A murdered prostitute who also haunts it.
It's getting old at this point.
Well, yeah, poor murdered prostitutes. Yeah. And there's a room in particular. I always like that you gotta like a haunted hotel that has a specific room that's haunted. I like that for some reason. That, be sure to get room 206.
Yeah, you would think they just wouldn't rent it out, but you'd think some thrill seekers would want to go in there.
That's right. So, this was a place that Susie went to, and she said she didn't really get too creeped out by it, but I know this is one that the folks in the Camas Prairie are very familiar with, and it makes me kind of, if I ever have to spend the night in Nezperce, I think I'll ask for room 206 and check it out.
No, thank you. I don't think. Would you? You think that's actually how you would roll the dice? I think if I hear anything scary or spooky, I'm a very, despite me stepping up and doing the Scary Spooky Trib podcast, I'm very anti-scary spooky. What about you?
I'm kind of interested in it.
Are you?
Yeah, I think I'd go for it. I guess maybe because I've never really had a scary incident, so bring it on.
Oh,
I might eat those words.
you're gonna go back to the old Lewiston High School for some reason.
Oh, no.
And that guy's gonna come running down the hall.
No. Oh, no.
Coming in at number 3, going back to downtown Lewiston, we got Morgan's Alley, Baney. This one's kind of another one that I think a lot of people have heard about. I
Yes.
think.
And this one, finally, we have one specific spirit that we could talk about. It's the Lady in Blue.
Yep.
And guess what her occupation was?
I'm gonna say she was a librarian.
No, she was a murdered prostitute.
Dang it! I really thought we were gonna end the trend here.
Yes. So she is said. People have said they've seen her, and she's dressed all in blue with a neck-high dress. And people have said they've seen her. And now, actually, there's a few stories. One is that she was a murdered prostitute. Actually, the other one is that she was a woman named Mary Spalding, who campaigned against prostitution.
Really?
Yes, tried to get it banned in the city, and fought that battle for many years, but actually died a few years before it was officially banned. And I guess that's the idea, that she's so frustrated that she didn't live to see it, that now she's haunting the building.
Yeah, that would do it for me, I think.
That would make you want to haunt something?
Yeah, I think if I was fighting for a lifelong cause and I didn't get to see it through, I think that gives me merit to haunt a place.
And she's everybody says that she's a benevolent ghost, whether she's the ghost of a prostitute or the ghost of the woman who fought prostitution. They say that her presence is nice. It's not spooky. So she's maybe one ghost you wouldn't mind meeting, I guess.
Yeah, how many of these ghosts on this list have that same quality? Or do we know?
It seems as though most of them are not out to get you.
Yeah.
There might be some that kind of creep you out, but most of them, yeah, they're just there to say hi.
Yeah, because you're visiting their house.
That's right.
Yeah. Coming in at number 2, we have a place that I've never visited. We got the Lewiston City Library. That's a callback for all you diehard fans. Baney, can you tell me about this one?
Yeah, you won't have to worry about seeing the ghosts since you won't go to the library.
Yeah, or the bookstore.
Right.
Yeah.
So the Lewiston City Library, yes, is now just across the street from our building here, and it came in about 15 years ago. Before that, it is a very old building, and for probably the longest time, it was Herb Hardware. It was Herb Hardware for many decades, and then it was a Cornerstone Interior for a little while before it became the library. And this is the one that scared Susie Engle the most. She spent an evening there, and this is in the window where it was not functioning as anything. It was just an old building in town. This is before they had decided to put the new library there. And Susie spent an evening there and said she heard footsteps. She heard doors closing. And usually she would stay in a place. She would get in a place probably about 9 o'clock or so some evening, stay till past midnight. She didn't make it this time. She ran for it. Yeah, so this... that's what did it.
Did she give any details on what made her run? Or did you remember?
It was hearing those footsteps, and they sounded as though they were approaching her. And she said, "Too bad, I'm done."
Yeah, see, I don't know how you can hear that and still say you'd sign up for a scary experience.
Well, maybe I should rethink this.
Yeah.
But I guess what's too bad or good, or I don't know, so far, it doesn't seem like there's any talk about the building being haunted now that it's the library. Did all of the renovations that were done there scare away the ghosts? Did they take off when the new library came in?
They're probably just trying to get through all the books.
That's
sure.
it. They're readers,
Yeah.
unlike you.
Yeah, they're big readers. So many books have came out since they've been dead that
They're checking out all the new stuff.
they're reading Junie B. Jones. So.
Yeah.
It's the last book I read. Susie, did you go to the number one spot on this list?
No, she did not go there.
And I wonder if that place would have scared her more, because it's probably the most famous haunted place in the area, which is why it's got its number one spot, St. Ignatius Hospital in Colfax.
That's right. And it, of course, so it was built, it's a very old building. It was built in 1893, and it served as the main hospital in Whitman County for many, many years. And then was, after a new hospital was built, it was converted into a house for mentally ill and old people, and it served that function until 2003. And since then, it kind of fell into disrepair over many years. So this is really, the stories about it are pretty new. This might be really the newest thing on the list.
And it's skyrocketed up to the top.
Yes, yeah. I'd say probably in 2000,
Yeah.
nobody talked about it being haunted, I would suspect.
These new school ghosts, they're tearing it up. This is new era ghosts. They're tearing it up.
And it just looks creepy. There's a lot of old kind of medical stuff around. It's in disrepair in just a way that just looks right for a haunted place. And then a few years back, the Storms, a couple who own the Storm Cellar and a few other businesses, they purchased it. And they do ghost tours in it and get lots of people that come for a tour. They have lots of different packages. So, you can go there and check it out for yourself. And then, yeah, like you mentioned, a lot of ghost hunting shows have been there.
Yeah.
And it seemed like the main thing that especially the ghost hunting shows found were these orbs of light that they would see.
Which is like the lamest thing in a ghost show. I mean, every time that you would watch one of these ghost shows and all they got were orbs, you want the EVPs every time.
Yeah, an orb of light is not that scary, but
No.
a creepy voice saying something. There you go. Now you got something.
Yeah, now you got me tuning in.
Yeah. And I'd say we just spent a time here talking about all these haunted places. It seems like we should have more than this.
Right? Especially here.
Yeah.
It's an old place.
It is. And, as I'm going through the list, I mean, these are fun, but I don't know. It seems like there should be more.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's kind of what I was going to with what's the latest haunt?
Yeah.
Like, when's the last time you heard of a ghost encounter even? It's like the ghosts are dying out. I think it's the internet.
It might be, are people less likely to sit around and tell ghost stories? They're busy just TikToking and Snapchatting.
Yeah,
and
everybody's got their
Instagramming.
AirPods in. They can't notice a ghost scream when they got their AirPods in.
That's true. Yeah, you can't hear that ghostly whisper if you're listening to Beyonce.
Yeah, and everybody cranks their AirPods up by the time they're 12. So when you're 22, your hearing's bad, so you can't even hear a ghost whisper. It's probably at a certain octave you can't even hear.
I think this podcast is now haunted by two boomers talking. We're getting pretty grumpy, aren't we?
I don't know why I'm so angry right now. But I guess one last question. Was Halloween a big holiday for you, for the kids? What's your take on Halloween?
Yeah, I've always been a big Halloween fan. I was a little guy in Pierce. I grew up there, and we would go out trick-or-treating and have pillowcases and fill those up with candy.
You could hit the whole town of Pierce.
Oh, yes. I even remember up there it snowed on Halloween once. We were walking through the snow to go trick-or-treating. And then, trick-or-treated throughout my childhood, and now my kids, they really get into it. And, it's always this is my favorite time of year personally. I like the weather. Mm-hmm. I like the sports that are happening right now. And then, you can't beat Halloween, the movies and just the traditions that go along with that. And this is fun.
This is fun.
Like I say, I wish I could tell a fun ghost story, but I don't really have any of my own.
You should have just made one up and threw it on the list.
I don't. It's not as though anybody would. I could just say, "Oh, it really happened."
You should have gave the address to your Airbnb and just told a ghost story from that address.
That's true. We've actually thought about creating a haunted house package.
Ooh.
Like, give us another $100,
And we'll scare
and
you.
we'll scare you. Yeah. And my son will hide in the closet and jump out, and we'll come rattle the windows at night.
That's awesome.
No one will do it though. My family won't go along with it.
It's the most Baney thing I've ever heard in my life.
Right.
And with that, we will sign off on the podcast, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned next week for another episode on a different topic, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.